everybody, how you doing? Welcome to the newest newsletter. Today I'm going to try to make this quick because it's going to be a bit of a long story, so I apologize ahead of time. But today I wanted to talk about my experience starting a small business and why I'm doing what I do with Metro Nova Creative and how we turned $500 into $250,000 sales in barely a few years. So this all started, I've been doing freelance design and since probably about 1999, 2000 is when I started, kind of playing around with the idea of design and art and layout and stuff like that. So I've always been a freelancer. I've always, worked in print shops and sign shops as a production designer and learned everything I possibly could. And while I was in those positions, we were approached by, all these small businesses, family-owned businesses, and we'd say, hey, we're going to run your envelopes or whatever, but we need your logo, the vector file for your logo. And every one of them had no clue what I was talking about. Like, we hired somebody from Craigslist to do a logo 7 years ago, and we have a JPEG, and it was like, a clip art or just really low res and pixelated, and they didn't understand, why do I have to give you this vector thing that I don't understand what it is? And we spent all this money for this designer to put this together, and they gave us this JPEG, and this is why can't we use this? And so it occurred to me that the small businesses of America were just completely undereducated in what they should expect and what they deserve when dealing with a logo design. And so I really, at the time, this is quite a while ago, I really didn't like doing logos. It was probably my least favorite type of design work to do. But I realized I had kind of a responsibility and an opportunity to make a little bit of a difference and maybe try to, learn something new. And so I started studying logo design, and I got a bunch of textbooks, and I worked really hard, and I basically did them for free for like a year. Just would find people online that were like, hey, I need a logo, and I'll try it, and so I learned, and I worked really hard, and I tried because I knew that small business owners deserved a higher quality product and a better education through the process as well. I'm a firm believer that small businesses are what make this country go, and if we take care of them and if we set them up for success and give them every opportunity, that's just better for everybody. And that was a big part of why I started doing this and with Metro Nova Creative, and why we focus so much on small businesses and tailor our prices to those types of budgets, because we want to give them, those small business owners every opportunity to succeed. So it was about this time in 2015, I was working at a print shop, and I had to just kind of foolishly, I put in my 2 weeks notice. My wife and I had just had our second kid. She was, just a few months old, and I called her and I said, I just put in my 2 weeks notice. I think I have to try this. I can't stay at this shop anymore. It's just not working out for me, and I think I have to give this a try. And she didn't kick me out, so thank you. I love you. But I remember that early transition of working at home by myself was like, okay, so what now? And I set up the business account for Metro Nova Creative at the bank. I had like $500 from freelance jobs, and that's it. I didn't take out a business loan. If you have that opportunity and you're a small business, I suggest if you have that opportunity and you want to go that route, just be informed and speak to an educated person and make that decision. But I didn't really feel like I had that opportunity. And so, we had a lot of debt at the time, family. And so, I was like, I'm not even going to bother. I'm just going to try to kind of bootstrap this thing and get it going. So I took my $500 and put it into a bank account, started the business with that, filed the escrow papers and all that good stuff, and made some business cards for myself and some postcards. And I literally Spent that summer just walking around Northern Virginia and going business to business and handing them a little postcard that said, "Here's 10% off" or something, a business card, a handshake, and a promise to do better. And I built a client list that way. Probably that first 6 months was just grinding through that, and I'm a big fat guy with a beard, man. Walking around in the summer in Virginia, I was a sweaty mess. So I'm sure if I was a little more pleasant looking, I probably could have picked up some more clients. But I did it. I turned that $500 and I invested and got some good looking materials, and I got one job that was a couple $100. So I put that back in the company and got another job, a couple $100. Got another job, and it was little by little. And I ran the numbers and figured out, okay, here is what I have to do. Like in our home life, our son was in a really expensive daycare, and we found a better one. My mom had actually retired, so we were very fortunate that she was like, I can give a hand with the kids. So we took my son from a full-time daycare that was, like $1,000 a month to a part-time that was like, I think it was $370 a month or something like that. So much better. You have to make those family adjustments, unfortunately. Sometimes that's just necessary. So we were able to do that, and and then I just figured out, okay, well, this is how much the company's making every month. And back then we were literally just doing like logos and print brokering. Like I'm a print broker as well, so like that's it. I was doing the logos and saying like, if you want business cards, I'll do that too, and so that first year, like 2015, our average ticket was probably only a couple $100, if that, but we started doing more of the marketing and direct marketing, postcards and mailers and stuff, and then we got like a website job. And so I called my friend Sean, who's our senior web developer. I mean, he's one of the key players on the team now. And I said, hey, here's an opportunity. Do you want to jump in on it? And he lives in Waco, so he and I grew up together in Texas. And so he was just like, yeah, man, let's try it. And that's how the team started to build. And so 2016, we really started focusing more on design elements in the websites and adjusting some of those margins, realizing like, with the market, we can do business cards all day long, but we can't really charge design fees because we have to be competitive with brick and mortar print shops that typically will do those, the design for like $10. Just like, hey, if you're doing the printing, we'll do the design for like $10. So there's just not a lot of margin in that. And so you kind of have to adjust as you go. And, while maintaining a fair market, right? Because you don't want to be that guy that's like, if the market value of business cards is like, say, $50, right, for 500 cards or something like that, you don't want to be that guy to be like, I'll do it for $18, because like you have to have a responsibility to maintain margins in your market. You have to hold yourself accountable to not do that. I think it's just bad karma if you go out and just undercut everybody just for the sake of undercutting. Like it doesn't make any sense. So just keep that in mind. I mean, you want to be competitive and you want to get customers, and that's perfectly fine. But you have to realize if customers are willing to pay what they're willing to pay now, you can take 5% off and still make some money, and they'll be perfectly happy. You don't have to like half the price and just screw everyone else, because it's going to come back and get you. It will. But anyway, so yeah, we started kind of adjusting, and I had Sean was part of the team, and little by little we were like, okay, well, we're doing another website, cool. Well, why don't we offer like hosting and maintenance plans? So that first, like I said, that in that last half of 2015, our average ticket was not very high. And then 2016 we started sprinkling a website here and a website there, and we got a little better. I said, okay. Still not quite amazing, but the nice thing was I was consistently paying myself every month, and I was on payroll. I suggest getting a payroll set up, switching, even if it's just you on payroll. I still suggest doing that, because it's just I think it's worth it to not have to worry about all the taxes and stuff. Your payroll company takes all that out for you and manages. And if you have a good bookkeeper, we've got a great one. Susie Q Bookkeeping does a stellar job for us. And once a quarter they're like, hey, you're in the black. You might want to pay a little extra taxes or pay yourself. So they're really great to keep us on track. Can't say enough about them. But so we were growing, and I was able to pay myself a little bit every month. And basically what I did was just say, it doesn't matter how much I made, how much the company made. I'm only going to pay myself this amount. But then I got greedy because we got a couple of really big jobs, and I was like, I'm going to pay myself great money every month, and this is awesome. And then the new year, 2017, started, and the government hadn't gotten their money yet. And if you know anything about Northern Virginia, the government doesn't have its money. Nobody else has their money either. So it dried up. It was rough, but we made it through. And again, we did a pivot, and we started looking at it more like we want to focus on our digital and design services and really help our clients develop their brand recognition through websites, through SEO, through social media marketing, things through a little bit of video work, stuff like that, that's going to help. And then we used the printing and signs and small sign stuff as kind of like a value add to the packages that we put together, right? So like you can go anywhere and get your logo and your website, but you can come to us and do your logo, your website, and your printing and marketing and everything, and we'll just take care of it. You don't have to worry about anything. We'll ship everything to you. It's a one-stop, and it really saves the small business owner some time, which is what, really our big value right now is giving them time back, time with their friends and family. So, but yeah, so we're in May of 2018 now, and we're just over $250,000 in sales, $250,000 build, and for the first half of that stretch, the average ticket was well below $1,000. We've kind of adjusted, and we're really still not that expensive. I mean, if I had to guess, our average right now would probably be about $1,800. So to hit $250,000, I know that's not a big fancy, oh, you get $1 million in 1 year. I know that's not a big fancy number, but $250,000, in that short period of time with low ticket averages, when you are basically doing it all word of mouth and networking events and just going out and shaking hands and meeting people, and I think it's pretty impressive. And so not only that, but I pay the people on my team very fairly. We've got 8 people, and I take care of them. I make sure that they're taken care of and they're paid fairly, and if they have a problem, they can come to me and talk to me about it, and we'll adjust. And whether it's okay, we'll pay you a little bit more, or we'll take some of the work off your plate so that what we can't afford to pay you is fair to you. We do that. I'm okay with that, and I try to make that apparent to everybody. But the most important thing is that I have a reasonable salary. I'm basically paying myself what I was getting paid when I was working full time. So we're doing okay, but the thing that I wanted to talk about really is the effort that's involved in taking $500 and turning it into $250,000 sales. So many young entrepreneurs and business owners want to take the easy route. They want things to be easy. They were like, I want to make $1 million, and that's it in a year. And like, why? And that I think is why I think that's why so many businesses fail early on, is because they lack patience. They're greedy, honestly, and selfish, and they're like, let's get a huge loan and let's get as many clients as possible and do all this stuff. And then what happens is, yeah, great, you might have 500 clients, but if 385 of them are unhappy because you don't have the logistics built in, you don't have the structure of your company set up yet to handle that kind of workflow, so you're doing half-assed work. So if you have 500 customers but 385 of them are mad, you don't have 500 customers. You don't. You have almost 400 people that are just mad at you. And so if you grow too fast and you expect too fast, I think it's gonna, it's gonna hurt you in the long run, unless you're just really, really, really good at business or really lucky. You should be aware of it, and just be cautious to, take your time. It's a marathon. You hear guys like Gary Vee and Tony Robbins, all of them, all of those guys, they all say the same thing. It is a marathon. It is not a sprint. Business is a long-term thing. If you're not a millionaire in the first 2 years, tough. You probably won't ever be a millionaire. You just have to, play it smart and take your time and let it come to you. And that's what we're doing. And we've been pretty successful at it so far. And I hope that we can continue growing and be self-aware enough to tell your clients, like, hey, right now, like, we're B2C, right? So we it's that type of, or we're B2B, I'm sorry. And so that type of dynamic is a little bit different, but don't hesitate to, like, if you have somebody come in and like, hey, I want this, I want this, I want this, do not hesitate to tell them, like, yes, absolutely. But let's start talking about it, but we won't be able to start working for, 2 weeks. Be self-aware. Be self-aware enough to have the confidence to say, yeah, absolutely, but we can't start for 2 weeks. Somebody said that to me the other day. Oh, never leave a job on the table. Like, what's the point of that? Like, okay, so somebody comes in and you're overwhelmed, your team's stretched thin, and then someone's like, I need a website in 1 week. Okay, we'll do it. Then you're going to give them a crappy product. Your team member is going to be mad at you. You're going to lose faith in them. Like, you're going to lose faith in them because they're mad and not producing work. They're going to lose faith in you because you did more, you put more on their plate when they were already stretched thin. No one's going to be happy. The job's probably going to look like crap. The customer's probably not going to be that happy. It just doesn't make sense. It's like, why bother harming yourself for what, one more invoice? When the customer probably, if you told them, like, we're really stacked and we want to give you the best product possible, so we won't be able to start until this date, the customer is most likely going to go, I really appreciate that. He wants to give me the best thing possible, so I don't mind waiting. And if they're like, no, I need it right now, then they're probably not a great customer. And you might just say, well, I'm sorry, we can't do it right now. Like, have the confidence to turn down a job to protect your team. Because at the end of the day, if you're taking on too much and you're making them mad and stressing them out, you're going to be a statistic. So, but yeah, so just to kind of recap, we did not do, a lot of loans. I'm virtually debt free. The business is virtually debt free. I think I owe like $400 on this thing. But that's about it. We didn't do traditional bank loans or business loans or anything like that. With just a lot of hard work. You have to be committed and ready to do that to be able to succeed. So you can do it. Like I said, if you have the opportunity to take out a business loan and it makes sense, it's smart numbers, then do it. But we didn't. So yeah, started with $500 and we hit $250,000 and it's been a fun ride, and I just hope that we can keep doing what we're doing, and we can keep helping other small businesses grow. And I hope you guys keep checking the newsletters, and we'll have another one out in a couple weeks. So everyone, thanks for listening. Be well. Be good. Thanks. Bye.